Yes! What's happening? Today's JoJo Day. I've wanted to make this video for a long time. I have a confession. I'm a JoJo fan. One of those degenerates who likes to talk about JoJo memes and poses and all that garbage. Because it's a legit good show. Like, come on, man. But I want to answer the question to you today. Why is JoJo so good? Should you watch JoJo? Is it worth your time? Yeah, it is. It's I shouldn't swear, but it's a really good anime. Top notch. Also, like, if you're like me and you like fighting animes, you like a good shonen or seinen, JoJo.
ラッシュの速さ比べか?
He is here for you. Well, not just he. There's a lot of JoJos. But I have to say this, like, JoJo is pretty interesting because it's like a cultural phenomenon. For years, I've seen the little comments in comment sections asking, "Is that a JoJo meme?" Like at the bottom of videos, you'll see somebody ask, "Wait, is that a JoJo meme?" So this show is like this. Well, the anime and the manga is like ripe for memes. It's ridiculous just how many memes are taken from this show. Like, Dio. Oh my god. The sound effect, like, you'll see the sound effects in like different video game channels and different other channels, right? You'll have the world sound effect, the hand boom sound effect. You'll hear these sound effects being used in other videos. And I've actually seen some people saying that they've never watched this series, and I'm like, that is so sad. Why you do that to yourself? Why you do? It's very weird how this manga came about. So the mangaka, Hirohiko Araki, he's a weird fellow. Because, let me show you. This is the guy right here, right? Alright. Look at this guy. Fine fellow, right? He looks alright, looks good, looks decent. It's an average Joe. Guess this man's age. This man is over 60. Look like this. I want to look that good at 60. Like, this is a 60-year-old guy. He started writing this manga in like the 80s. That was before I was born. Before a lot of you little bitches was born too. I'm thinking if I should fix the camera, but now I'm gonna leave it. Play up to the camera. Play up to my mistake. Ooh, moving around. That's right. No, I moved the camera again. Finally got it in a spot that I was happy, and I went and messed it up. But anyways, back to JoJo. Why is it so good? I'll tell you why I think it's good. First off, no, I keep moving this. Alright, I keep moving my camera. I'm sorry about that. I'll start off by explaining why I think JoJo is good. The first season of the show, right? From what I've gathered from it and how it's developed, like, JoJo is just an adventure, action anime. That's it. Adventure, action, some comedy. That's it. Boom. It's also very focused on like manliness. Like the first 3 parts, the main characters are really buff, manly, strong looking guys like this. Buff looking gym rats. Okay, that's these kind of guys. But then in part, I believe, from part 4 onwards, they're more slender guys. Some people would call them effeminate, and that's kind of true. Yeah, they don't look as, hulking and strong as the original 3. I'm gonna try not to use names here because I want you to read the manga, watch the anime for yourself, and enjoy. Now, another thing that's really great about this anime, the name of the characters, the name of the stands, and the name of the abilities are all derived from songs and musicians. Granted, in the manga, Araki, the mangaka, he didn't change the names of the songs. He didn't change the names of the characters. For goddamn example, the 3 main villains in part 2. They were named directly, word for word, after 3 of the most popular bands in history. Cars, AC/DC, and Wham. Now while I was watching the series, the names stick out to me, especially AC/DC. I'm like, what? AC/DC? I know that's a band name, sir. It's a band name. Lo and behold, look it up. AC/DC was a band. Second one was Wham. I'm like, Whamu? Alright, initially I was thinking, alright, it could be the Japanese pronunciation for Wham, and they add U. Usually, the Japanese will pronounce English letters a bit differently, right? But with Whamu, I'm like, nah man, that's a band name. And then I researched Cars, because I just thought Cars meant like car, vehicle. But when I researched Cars' name, I'm like, wait, this is a band too? And that's when it started to make the connection to me. Because even in the first part, the Zeppeli family, I'm like, wait, Zeppeli? Sound close to Led Zeppelin. But you know what? Maybe I'm just being paranoid. But part 2 was what really kicked me into the fact that a lot of these names are taken from musicians and not even changed. They had to change it in the animes. In manga they didn't, but in the anime they did. They changed the spelling. Now let me tell you something, right? If you go to the JoJo Wikipedia page and you look up musical references, it's literally in every chapter. Every chapter, the main characters, the stand names, side characters are named after musicians directly or their albums. Like even the stand Crazy Diamond, that's from a song, Shine You Crazy Diamond. Wait, let me check this. So the song is from Pink Floyd and it's called Shine You Crazy Diamond. That's the name or the stand of the 4th protagonist in the series. I'm amazed that they haven't been sued. Maybe they have and I haven't heard of it, but it's so blatant that this guy, how did he get away with this for so many years? Like, the manga's been running since the 80s, right? And you're telling me like, the music companies that are like notorious business sharks that will go after you for any sort of infraction, right? Or any sort of copyright infringement. They'll jump at it. And this manga was able to keep, under the radar for so long. Just to grow to such a behemoth of a show, right? And keep in mind, we still have other parts coming in because they animated part 4. We still have a lot more parts, to be honest, because they animated Golden Wind and then you have Stone Ocean. So we're up to, they've animated up to 5. We have 8 chapters, we have 8 parts, so 3 more parts left. Sad news, Araki the mangaka said that they won't be animating part 5 and 6. They won't be animating part 6 and 7. They're going to just keep to 8, I believe. That's terrible news because like Jolene is one of my favorite characters. Brings me to my next point. So this manga is really interesting because something happened in it that I've always been interested in. Why is it we don't have a series that has, multiple main characters being used instead of using the same character every season or every part? JoJo takes that. Every part is actually played by a different main character. Each main character is from the lineage of the Joestar line. So I could go through all of them, not going to do that. You should read the mangas, watch the animes, and discover these characters for yourself. Because I think that they're very well put together, some of them. And I like the surprise aspect of every season or every part. They start with a new character, a new main character to follow. You can like them, you can hate them, but I like that spice. That's a very interesting way to tell a story. Granted, there are a lot of plot holes and issues, but it gets really interesting later on, the family dynamic and seeing how really weird the family hierarchy is for the Joestars. But it's pretty weird for a lot of real people in real life too. Because a lot of the main characters are actually like direct parents of others or their nephews and cousins. It's a lot. Okay, it's a lot. Alright. Now, the next part in JoJo that's just fantastic. Well done. I really enjoy this part. The villains. Now, for me, the villains is one of the most important parts of the goddamn story. Alright? If you can't get the villain right, the story not going to be right. You need to have a good, well-structured villain to have a good show. That's it. If the villain is lackluster, there's no reason for the protagonist to train themselves and get better to meet this objective or to achieve their objective. Usually the objective entails overcoming the villain or finding some way to defeat them to move on to another goal, right? The villain is very, very, very important. Jojo knows how, well, Araki knows how to write a good villain. Alright, for me, my favorites would be Dio, the Pillar Men, and Kira.
私の名はキラヨシカゲ。年齢33歳。自宅は森王町北東部の別荘地帯にあり、結婚はしていない。
Now, to be honest, I would say Kira is a better villain than Dio because he's better structured. He actually seems more like a sociopath. But every villain has something that makes them unique. Even though some of their goals are not sensible, I can kind of see what's happening. For instance, like with the boss, that's the villain in part 5. He wants to basically remain hidden from everybody. He wants no one to know of his existence, but somehow he had a daughter. So the goal of that part is to prevent him from killing his daughter. That's the basic goal of the part. Every character has their own goal, and the villain is somehow tied to the goal. Somehow, some way, the villains are tied to the goal. I like that. With Jojo, a lot of the interactions between the characters and between the main character and the villain is because they're intertwined by fate. There's a reason for it. I don't want to get too much in detail because you need to watch the show for yourself. It's a good show. It's a good manga. I haven't read JoJolion. I need to say that. I have not read JoJolion. I'm waiting for it to finish and then I'll read it. Now maybe I'll read it before it finishes because it's almost done. So might as well. This one's kind of a hit and a miss, right? But I really like the music in this show. The music is like, I've listened to Battle Tendencies so much. It's such a good goddamn song. No, I need to say this too. Part 5's opening song, Golden Wind, was actually used in one of the protests. Like the protesters were literally playing, well, they're playing their version of Golden Wind in the protest live. You can see here. As I said in the beginning of the video, the sound effects you can find everywhere on YouTube. Like people will input the sound effects not knowing where exactly it came from. You've probably heard the world sound effect or heard the hand sound effect. You've probably seen or heard Dio. Yeah, you've probably heard that one. But this is something I wanted to touch on too. The first 2 parts of JoJo were focused on Hamon. Hamon was the main ability used to fight vampires, right? But in part 3, they just made a jump to stands. But oddly enough, that was alright in the eyes of the fans. There weren't a lot of people that were complaining about the stands introduction. The only problem is people were annoyed that there wasn't a reason or a gradual change from Hamon to stands. Dude, there's so much I want to just blurt out here, but no. I'll do that in the future. I want you to take the risk on JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Watch part 1 and go down the line. It's well worth the watch, believe me. Alright, I think that's about it. Thanks so much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed the video. Stay inside. If you're gonna go outside, wear a mask. I can't believe I have to say this. Alright, I'm out. Cheers. Coconut.